Welcome to the Anonymous Andrew podcast. Life and the choices we make. The choices other people make. Why we choose to ignore the red flags. Red flags like gaslighting, cheating, addiction, mental illness, and much more. What role do they play in relationships? Follow me each week as we discuss these topics with anonymous guests and experts to hopefully become better humans, resulting in better choices. Like I say, been there, still doing that. Now on to the show. Anonymous Andrew back with you with another exciting episode. They're all exciting, right? You know, folks, I just finished a recording with another coach. And it's amazing. We're well into somewhere in the 50s and 60s episodes. I have had 45 or so coaches, experts, authors, doctors, therapists. Every single one of them has educated me on something about relationships, getting in them, staying in them, getting out of them, or working on myself while not being in a relationship. Today I have a woman named Nancy Pickard, and she's certified in about 9 different coaches areas. But one of the ones is, I'm not even going to go over, I'm going to let her explain it to you. But when I got finished recording this, I was blown away. And this was a short one. This was less than a half hour. She brought to me so many points that I needed to hear. So without further ado, I give to you Nancy Pickard. Enjoy. We'll talk to you on the other side. Ciao. Hello, everybody. Anonymous Andrew back with you with another episode. And today, I'd like to welcome Nancy Pickard. Welcome, Nancy. Hello.
Hi, Andrew. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you for coming on. So Nancy has several certifications, and I'm going to ask her to tell us what she's certified in because it's a long list.
Okay, I'll just name a few. So I'm an integrative life coach, a shadow coach, which means I help people uncover the shadows in their subconscious that are keeping them playing small, and a marriage and relationship coach. Those are like, and parenting coach and a boundary coach. Those are like my main ones, but I have many others, but those are basically the big ones.
Yeah, well, that's quite a list right there. So, okay, so I also see you wrote a book.
Yep. Bigger, Better, Braver, Conquer Your Fears, Embrace Your Courage, and Transform Your Life.
Okay, you want to start there a little bit? Tell us what that's about.
Sure. So the book is really, it follows my coaching, what I do with my private clients, my one-on-one clients or my group clients. But it's a step-by-step how to do it, how to figure out what it is that you really want to do with your life, how to uncover the shadows. I have exercises in there, and it's a step-by-step how to take that leap, get out of your comfort zone and go for that goal, whatever it is. So when I was turning 60, I wanted to do something big and remarkable, and I went and climbed Kilimanjaro. And so the book is sort of like, well, what's your Kilimanjaro? What's that thing out there that you think you want to do, but you just can't seem to get there? And my book will help you get there without having to hire me.
Okay. Well, mine's not a mountain. Mine would just be a happy relationship. So that's quite simple. But you would think it would be quite simple, but I'm of course I make it difficult. So
David or Andrew, what I say is that you have to become the relationship you want to have. So you work on yourself, and then you mirror out to the world the same qualities that you now own and what you want in a relationship. And until you do that self-work on yourself, you're going to continue to get one bad relationship after another. So if that's what you're getting, then it's really great that you're in a pause from relationships so you can work on yourself and get really clear on what are the values you want in somebody else, and make sure you yourself have all those values. And then when you have become the person you want to date, that person will show up in your life.
Interesting. Okay. Then here comes the next question. How do myself or somebody in the audience begin that, take that first step?
Well, that's where the shadow work comes in. So you have beliefs about yourself, either I'm not good enough, or I'm broken, or I'm unworthy, or love and life means X, Y, and Z. And that brings in these same people into your life. So when you uncover what those beliefs are that are from your childhood, that are actually attracting those people into your life, or you've got disowned qualities that you're bringing into people to show you those qualities, because that's what we do. We project out in the world the qualities that we don't see in ourselves. So liar or cheater or gaslighter, whatever you don't think you are, if you've disowned them, you attract those people in. So it's more about learning that we are everything, and that there is a time that we could be anything. And so every quality that anybody possesses, we also possess. And when you uncover all of that and you work on yourself in those ways, you upgrade who you are.
Oh, interesting. Okay. I noticed on your bio, there was a word that really caught my eye, or a phrase, self-sabotage.
Mm-hmm.
Can you talk about that for a moment?
Sure. So we all do some self-sabotaging, but people who are really self-saboteurs big time, and they know it, and they don't understand how they got there and why they are, they have these beliefs. It's the same thing. They have these shadow beliefs that are keeping them playing small. And there's such a thing called cognitive dissonance, and it means that your brain likes what it knows. So that's why children of alcoholics end up dating people who they think are not alcoholics, and the next thing you know, they're an alcoholic. Mm-hmm. Because your brain wants what it knows, even if it's not good for you. If you had an abusive father, you end up with a partner that abuses you, or you model it and you abuse. And so our brains are very lazy. They like what they know, even if it's not the right thing for us. And that's why we sabotage ourselves. And then, so I'll give you an example of somebody who self-sabotages. They're mind readers, and they think they know what the other person's thinking, but they don't. But they think they do, and then they act on what they think, and it's not right. And you could be out to dinner with a woman, and all of a sudden she looks at her watch, and in your mind you think, oh, she's not having a good time, she wants to get out of here. And then you turn, and you kind of ruin the rest of the night, because you've already decided this is a lost cause, and you're out of here, she's out of here. Maybe she was just curious. Maybe it's a habit. Maybe it had nothing to do with the date, but you just ruined the date on a belief that you had that wasn't true.
It's interesting you said that, because I did go on a date 2 nights ago. It was really a meet and greet date.
Right.
And there was a couple of texting days leading up to that, and then a phone call. And we a 2-hour phone call, and we enjoyed the phone call, so we decided to meet. And she came down here. It was actually today's Sunday. It was yesterday, and we went down to the boardwalk. I live by the beach, and it was interesting because it wasn't looking at her watch, but I'm good at reading body language, and she seemed uncomfortable. And what was interesting was the first 2 or 3 days of our conversation, she seemed very infatuated with me. She kept complimenting me on my pictures. She told me she actually came right out and said, "You're a very attractive man." When we met and we were on the boardwalk and we were sitting looking at the sunset, all of a sudden I felt a completely different vibration from her. Energy coming off of her. And she seemed very uncomfortable, and even started talking about, looks like it's going to rain. She would look up. And yes, there was some rain in the forecast that night, but the sun was shining and it was a beautiful sunset. we had plenty of time, but I already started thinking that she had made up. Yeah, she wants out, and then literally a drop of water fell, and she goes, "Oh, it's raining. We got to run." And it just happened so fast. And so, to your point, yeah, sometimes we can. Well, and I think in this case, she did want out because it didn't work out.
Yeah. And she may have wanted out, and you might have read her right, but there's also a possibility that you read her wrong. And you could have, if you were brave enough, said, I feel like a little disconnect is happening here. Are you not interested? Did something happen? Has something changed? Call her on it. You've got nothing to lose.
I never thought about that. Yeah.
Just be honest. Hey, maybe I'm wrong, but I feel a different vibe. If you're not interested, we can call it time of death,
Yeah. Yeah. Good phrase. Good term. Yeah. No, and I would do that. I have no problem being right. There's one thing that I'm always for. This is why I started this podcast. I told my audience I will always be honest and vulnerable and tell it like it is. So it just never dawned on me to come out and ask her, is there a problem? Because her behavior and the way she was talking 3 days prior to this was completely different. And she just seemed very uncomfortable all of a sudden. So
may not have anything to do with you at all. That's the thing. You just don't know. It doesn't have to be about you. But I'd put it out there. Hey, you know what? I'm very intuitive, and I'm getting a different vibe from you. If you're not interested, I don't want you to have to stay here. And then she would have had to say, I'm really sorry, I'm not, or no. She would have had to come up with something.
Yeah. She did mention she lived about 40 minutes away, and I think she was concerned about driving in the dark. She said to me she didn't have good vision at night. So there might have been some anxiety on her part that she wanted to get back into her car and start heading home because the sun was setting.
Yeah. And then what happened today? Did you hear from her? Did you send her a text?
Yeah, so we were supposed to go to the beach today. That was going to be our second date, or first date was just to go to the beach. And I texted her at 8:00 this morning, told her I was up playing tennis, and let me know what time. Because last night we talked about going to the beach. I didn't hear from her the entire day, and then I got some cockamamie text at 3:00 telling me she overslept, and then she forgot that she had a Zoom appointment with a lawyer. Which I don't believe, because what lawyer works on a Sunday, so.
Well, some do, but Andrew, she's done.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You don't reach out again. You don't reach out again. Right. You're just done.
No.
Right.
Well, so good. This is a good segue to my next thing, because something very similar happened a month ago. A very similar thing. I was 3 or 4 days texting and chatting and on the phone with a woman. And then she went away for a couple of days and came back and then said to me that she had a death in the family and that she was going to not be dating for a while. And it was like a complete 180, almost like what happened the other night. So 2 times in 1 month, I've had 2 women who seemed to be at the onset very excited and interested in me. And I hadn't even met this woman yet, the first one. Mm-hmm. And then within like 24 to 48 hours, there was a complete turnaround. And so I'm starting to feel as if, like what we discussed in the beginning, maybe I'm putting something out. Maybe
you may be, but a couple of things. One, it's possible that that's true for her. Like I might cancel a podcast because I've gotten bad news about something, and I'm like, what am I doing? Like this is so not important what I'm doing.
Right.
So that's possible. But I want to go back to the last date. You should not, and this is just my professional opinion, you don't make a date and make another date the next day, because you probably are coming on way too strong and moving things way too quickly. And you want to date people. You don't need, you're a serial relationship person, a self-proclaimed serial relationship person. I used to be also. You need to become a dater. You need to not get into a relationship.
Yeah.
You need to date somebody and then don't date them again and don't talk to them every day and slow the process down. So you
Yeah.
really get a chance to know them and they get a chance to know you, because you fall in full on in
Yeah.
bam, 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 bam. You're in and it dies and you're out, and
And the cycle repeats itself.
and the cycle repeats itself.
Yeah.
So that's a red flag, just that you guys had a date and we're going to see each other the next day. Too much, too soon.
Yeah. Interesting. And it was funny because I didn't ask her for the second date. She said to me, "Are you going to the beach tomorrow?" And I said, "Oh yeah," because I'm a beach bum. And she said, "Do you want company?" And I said, "If you want to come along, absolutely." But of course, inside of me, I was giddy. I was like, "Oh, great! I get to see her in a bikini, and yada yada yada." So you're absolutely right. I mean, I probably should have said, "No, I'm going to go with some friends or something."
Yeah, you don't have to lie. You could just say, tomorrow wouldn't work for me, maybe next week.
Yeah,
You slow it down, even if the person's not slowing it down.
yeah. See, this is why I have this podcast and have people like you on to show me, to tell me what I'm
One
doing wrong.
relationship coach after another. What I do with my clients, believe it or not, those that want to be in a relationship and they want to get, committed. And I work with a lot of young women in their 30s and 40s. They want a marriage and children. And I literally coach them through the process of getting in the relationship, through the harmony, disharmony, and repair of a relationship, all the way until they're married. And then they're free to go, right? Bye-bye. I've done my work. You're good. We can move on. Because if you're a sabotager in your relationships, you need somebody to help point it out to you. All right, that might have been an overreaction. How else could you see this? What else could you do? What are the red flags that you're not looking at? What are the lessons you're supposed to be learning? And I can guide them literally to safety.
This is okay. Now I'm getting the gist. This is brand new territory for me because, like we discussed, I'm a serial relationship guy. So I never did date multiple women at once. It was find the next woman and begin that relationship.
Right.
These past 10 months, I've been single and I have not been dating. I'm staying off the apps, and I just jumped on the apps a couple of weeks ago. And although I fibbed a little bit there, about 8 months ago, I was feeling lonely, and I dated a woman or two, but obviously they didn't work out. But I've been single and not dating for almost 6 months, and just doing the work, research, going to therapy, my sponsor, all this stuff. So this is new territory for me. This is all new. So this concept of dating multiple people, or dating, or even just saying one woman, not tomorrow, maybe next week, is foreign concept to me. It's foreign concept.
You want to slow it down. And also, the reason to date more than one person is so that you don't go too fast with any one person. You don't put everything you've got into one person, right?
That's my motive. That's my MO. I tend to do that. Yeah.
I used to be a serial dater too. But the reality is it's better to slow it down, date a couple of people, and then narrow it down. Don't jump into bed with anybody. It doesn't get you anywhere. We're not children anymore.
That's the one thing. That's the one thing I'm not interested in sex right now, because the last relationship ruined that for me. But I can't believe it. Yeah.
This is a good break for you. Read the book. Michael Singer, The Untethered Soul.
I have the book, and I read the next one and the next one. He's got a trilogy. Yep. I read them all.
I like the first one.
I can't believe you mentioned that. Yeah.
My favorite.
Michael Singer.
It was really helpful for me when I had a bad breakup. It was very helpful.
Yeah. I downloaded that on audio version, and I've listened to it 3 times already. You're right. It's a fantastic book. But I did that 9 months ago, maybe, or even longer than that. Maybe it's time to re-listen to it.
Yeah, because you hear different things every time you listen. You've got to be ready to hear the next part. You know what I'm saying? Like the universe brings it to you, but you have to be open to hear it. So I can read his book and then think, God, I don't remember that from the book. And that's
Right.
because it wasn't the right time for me to really download that in my brain.
You're right. You're right. I think I know what I'm listening to on the way to work tomorrow. Okay. No, because
Yeah.
I have it on my Apple books.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. One more question here, and then I'll let you go.
Okay.
Because this is something that I have trouble doing. How do we set healthy boundaries?
First of all, you may again have some shadow beliefs in the background, like my needs don't matter, my voice doesn't matter, love and life means taking care of others first. All of those will make it harder for you to set healthy boundaries. But the way to set healthy boundaries is to really get clear with what you will and will not tolerate from yourself or other people anymore. What's acceptable, what's not acceptable. And when you get clear on that, you set healthy boundaries with yourself. And you also set healthy boundaries with the people that are in your life that you need to set boundaries with. And I suggest you use a boundary script. So I'm a Nancy Levin life coach, boundary coach, and she uses a script that goes like this. I feel X. When you do Y, would you be willing to do Z? I feel disrespected when you talk over me in a Zoom call. Would you be willing to wait till I'm finished talking? Or I feel lonely when you don't call me every day. Would you be willing to make sure you contact me every day?
Oh, bless you.
Thank you. So when you do a script like that, you're making it about you, not about, I don't know, not about the other person. You're not making them wrong. Somebody else might not care what they're doing. This is about you. I need this. I feel sad. I feel disrespected. I feel lonely. I feel angry. When you do X, would you be willing to do Z? And you can use that with absolutely anything.
In any type of relationship, it could be work, could be platonic, could be romantic. Yeah. Interesting. I'm going to keep that in mind. So that's called the boundary script.
Yeah.
Okay. I like that. So, all right, Nancy, tell us where we can find you online. Where
Nancy Pickard, lifecoach.com is my website. And I'm also on Nancy Pickard Life Coach on Instagram, on LinkedIn, on Facebook. Those are the main ones. And then there's the new one. I forgot what it's called.
Threads.
What is it? Threads.
Yeah.
I'm on there too. Yeah.
Okay.
That's
I'll put all of that in the show notes.
I do a free discovery call for anybody who wants to see about coaching with me. And so we get to both see if it's a good fit or not. And do that right from my website.
I saw they go to your website and there's a form they can fill out and they can have a call with you, a free consultation. That's great. Okay. All right, everybody. Nancy Pickard. Thank you so much. You absolutely, in this short time, enlightened me on many things that I was missing.
I'm glad.
I'm very glad that you came tonight and took some time out to be with us.
I wish you the best with it.
Have a great evening.
Thank you. Take care.
Amazing. I'm just so stunned at each episode. I really, really, truly pick up this term, the scripted boundary or boundary script. And the idea that I could have said to this woman Saturday night, I feel as if you're not feeling it or something. Is there something? None of this occurred to me, and I wouldn't have any problem saying that to this woman. She was very uncomfortable, and I could see that. And I don't know why I didn't say to her, "Hey, talk to me. What's going on?" Anyway, and of course, obviously, I have issues with boundaries. So I'm going to look into this scriptive boundary thing, because there were so many times in my past relationship where I confronted her the wrong way, more of an accusatory way. And I like the way Nancy described how you do it, X, Y, and Z. Just fill in the blanks. Speaking of filling in the blanks, folks, as always, I'm going to ask you for a review, or follow, or subscribe, or all three. If you're on Apple, Spotify, there's a little thing at the bottom where you can give me 5 stars, and a little box where you put a review. Hey, Andrew is a great podcaster. No, I'm kidding. Anything, but please fill in something and give me some rating, and follow and subscribe. It will help me get this podcast out there and up and farther and yada, yada, yada. Ladies and gentlemen and people of all genders, if you're going to make a choice, please, I urge of you, please choose wisely. Until next time, ciao.